Coach, this is the first time we've had a chance to talk to you since you were named head coach last year. What has the whirlwind of the past year been like for you?
That's been a lot of fun. You know, we're still kind of ending the honeymoon period, and but you know, the honeymoon in some ways is still continuing for me because of the guys that I get to work with every day. We have a terrific group of young men, and for a pretty young team, it's a pretty mature group. So it's been a lot of fun for me.
Now that you have some distance from last season, how surreal does it all appear to be, the roller coaster of emotions you all went through, capped off by winning the national championship?
Yeah, well, you know, honestly, right now we're kind of focused on what we have in front of us right now, which is this season. We're kind of knee deep in the season already, but it was definitely a roller coaster back then, and it capped off with a pretty special experience for me, and especially for the team. It brought us all together, and it's going to be a bond that sticks with us forever. But right now we're kind of on to the next season.
Well, you bring up a great point, being on to this season now. How do you keep the guys focused? Coming off last year, winning it all, how do you make sure they maintain that edge and don't get satisfied with what they accomplish?
Well, I asked the team to come up with a list of goals or some guiding principles for themselves this year, and the number one on that list of 3 things was stay hungry. So I think they had the right idea in their mind, and also it's a new team. We only have, you know, we have our number 1 and 2 players from last year back, but everyone else is new for the most part. So it's a new team, and the whole experience is new to them.
Was there any type of specific activities you go through to try and stay hungry, to try and keep that attitude there?
Not really. You know, I had them read a couple of books about the process and about putting in the daily work and stuff like that. But mostly, like I said, it's a new experience for. We have 10 guys on our team right now, and 6 of them are freshmen. So they've got plenty of things to worry about other than, you know, worrying about what the team did last year. So no, the only 2 guys I think that would be relevant for really would be Christian and Yuya, but they've taken on a new role for themselves this year, and that's a leadership role, and I think they've seemed to really embrace that.
Yeah, how has that gone for them? How, you know, adapting to new roles with the squad?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, because they grew up with a bunch of guys ahead of them in their class, and now all of a sudden they're the elder statesmen. But I think like I said, I think they've embraced it. Yuya is kind of a quiet leader off the court in terms of helping the guys, but he spends a lot of time with the younger guys individually and helps them learn from his experience. And I think Christian is more of a leader on the court in terms of his professionalism every day, in terms of how he goes about his craft and getting better each day.
How do you help the transition along when you get a player, a talented player who may not be the loudest, most vocal player, and you have to help them kind of turn into that vocal leader? Yeah,
well, that's something I've had a decent amount of experience with over the years, and I think earlier on in my career I would try to encourage everyone to be vocal in the beginning, and then I figured out gradually that it's got to be within their own personality and at their own pace. There's a lot of different ways to lead. You know, and some people, you got to do it within your own personality. If you try to be someone you're not, it's going to be inauthentic, and that goes the same with coaching. So I want these guys to be themselves, but at the same time, be the more outgoing versions of themselves, and really have a sensitivity that it's not just about them, but it's also about helping everyone on their team get better.
How do you think you've evolved as a coach?
You know, I think the last example I had mentioned is one of the ways that I think I've realized that I have to be myself as well. And maybe earlier on in my career, I tried to fit a stereotype of what a coach would be in terms of in terms of the way I would push people. Now I think I do it a little bit more quietly and a little bit more off the court with some of my individual meetings, and find different ways to motivate each person. And I've definitely a big believer now in the idea that you have to earn people's trust and get to know them personally and spend some time with them, and let them know how much you care about them. And if they sense that, then I think they'll go to work for you.